Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Welcome back, Partha Prabhu. Nice to have you in the class or Sangha, as we like to call it. And anyway, let's continue with our discussion and reading. So right now, we are on Canto 5 and talking about Lord Rsabhadeva. He is the Supreme Personality Godhead himself. Actually, he's the Shakti Avesha avatar of the Lord. So he's a jiva, but it has been bestowed with power of God himself. So let's continue. It's mentioned that a person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone in material activity. And one who cannot deliver another person by instructing him in devotion service should not become a spiritual master, father, mother, demigod, or husband. Instructing his 100 sons. So this is what we're talking about today. Lord Rsabhadeva setting an example of how a father should instruct his children. So instructing his son, his 100 son, Lord Rsabhadeva advised them to accept their eldest brother, Bharat, as we know. Bharat, whose name is given to our birthland, India. Bharat as their guide and Lord, and thereby serve him. Of all living entities, the Brahmanas are the best. And above the Brahmanas are the Vaishnavas, are situated in an even better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Shukadeva Goswami describes the characteristics of Bharat Maharaj and the sacrificial performance executed by Lord Rsabhadeva for the instructions of the general populace. Let's pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukum Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatha Moham Deshi Guru Deep Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tassat Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottam Devim Sasviyat Toto Jayamaduriyat Nasta Presha Abhadareshu Nitam Bhavat Sevaya Bhavati Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nestiki. Hare Krishna. So Lord Rsabhadeva told his sons, and it's a quite, there's a lot of instructions, and we won't be able to cover them all today, but we'll just do what we can and then maybe take it next week and week after maybe. So Lord Rsabhadeva told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification. Well, we are given different advice in nowadays in the Kali Yuga. That's not what our parents told us. They told us to work hard day and night, and make something of yourselves. Whether it's education, we are studying day and night, burning the midnight oil, and work-wise, I said, do lots of hours. Get somewhere in life. Have a good house, good assets, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotion service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which is continuous forever. So he is asking them to work hard, but not in the material life. He's saying engage in penance and austerity. So work hard, but in a different way. Because that's what the human life is given for. Because he's saying that even animals work hard for material life. So we should be different to the animals. We should be working hard to going back home, back to Godhead, because given this body with this opportunity. So human life means voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. There is, of course, suffering in the lives of animals and plants. which are suffering due to their past misdeeds. However, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of austerities and penances in order to attain the divine life. After attaining the divine life, one can enjoy happiness eternally. After all, every divine entity is trying to enjoy happiness. But as long as one is encased in the material body, he has to suffer different kinds of miseries as well. So higher senses men present in the human form, we should act according to superior advice in order to attain eternal happiness and go back home, back to Godhead. So one can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. So that's the key. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge in the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in the devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in an abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. So Srila Prabhupada explains that the human body is like a junction. One may either take the path of liberation or the path leading to a hellish condition. So in our junction, we come to a junction, you look left, look right. In which way do you want to go? You want to take the hellish route, or you want to take the route back to for liberation? You have that choice. That's your free will given by God. How one can take these paths is described herein. On the path of liberation, one associates with Mahatmas, and on the path of bondage, one associates with those attached to sense gratification. So, here's the formula. Which one do you prefer, right? So, Rsabhadeva continues, those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. So these are the symptoms of people who want liberation. Whether he's an impersonalist or a devotee, one who is actually interested in advancing spiritually should not mingle with those who are simply interested in maintaining the body by means of so-called advancement of civilization. Those who are interested in spiritual life should not be attached to homely comforts in the company of wife, children, friends, and so forth. Even if one is a gresta and has to earn his livelihood, he should be satisfied by collecting only enough money to maintain body and soul together. One should not have more than that, no less than that. As indicated herein, a householder should endeavor to earn money for execution of bhakti yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atam Nivedanam. A householder should lead such a life that he gets full opportunity to hear and chant. He should worship the deity at home, observe festivals, invite friends in and give them prasadam. A householder should earn money for this purpose, not for sense gratification. So these are the instructions of what to do. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already deceived a body, which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. So this is a tricky one. He has the material body for sense gratification, yet we should not be doing sense gratification. Interesting. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. So it looks like you have to sort of stand back, and instead of just getting different bodies and enjoying different bodies, you have to stand back and think, well, is this the only purpose for this body? This is what we've done, right? We think, I'm sure there's more to this life than just having this body and enjoying the senses, gratifying the mind, right? So there has to be more to it than that, because why are we different to the animals? Why aren't we just animals? Brahma is providing everything for the animals. He provides for us as well. Why are we different? Why we have so much consciousness? Why we can see right from wrong, right? And why feel bad? Why feel good? We have all these emotions, and other creatures their emotions are not as prominent as ours, right? They cannot think as highly as we can think. Very limited. They work on instinct. The four sinful activities are illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. And these are the means by which one gets another material body that is full of miseries. In the Vedas, it is said, Ashtango hi ayam purusha. The living entity is not really connected with this material world, but due to his tendency to enjoy the material senses, he is put into the material condition. One should perfect his life by associating with devotees who should not become further implicated in the material body. So we have to have association of those people who are practicing this. Then we can remember, and it rubs off on us. Otherwise, if you associate with the opposite people, then that will rub off on us. We get influenced easily. Human beings, we get influenced very easily. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmak, colored with fruit activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruit activity, he has to accept a material body. So it's just simple as that. If you want to keep enjoying, then you'll keep getting a material body to enjoy with. It's when you say, I've had enough, I don't want any more. If you're having some sweet dishes and you keep enjoying them, then the dishes will keep coming, or you keep buying them, or you keep eating them. It's like when you say, right, I've had enough. I know it's great, it's good fun, it's tasty, but I'm full. I don't want any more. It's when you are full with the gratification, you realize that this is not the thing to do, and there's something higher than this, and then you'll get the higher body to enjoy that. And so you'll still get happiness. You get permanent happiness because you'll have a eternal body. Generally, people think that one should act very piously in order to be relieved from misery. That's the general thinking. And be good to people, don't do anybody any wrong. And but this is not a fact. Even though one engages in pious activity and speculation, he is nonetheless defeated. His only aim should be to emancipation from the clutches of Maya and all material activities. Speculative knowledge and pious activity do not solve the problems of material life. So it's good to do activity which is pious, but it will not release you from material life. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. You will still come back. You'll enjoy. You might even go to heavenly planets and then come back here. Pious activity alone is not enough. You have to find the way how to get out of material activities and material life. Do karma that is free from do activities that are free from karma, basically. When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being. So we can't tell the difference. And his mind is subjugated by fruity activity. Therefore, until one has love for God, Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, that's Rsabhadeva saying, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. As long as one is interested in karma and jnana, he continues enduring the miseries of material life, birth, old age, disease, and death. Karmis certainly take on one body after another. As far as jnanis are concerned, unless they are promoted to the topmost understanding, they must return to the material world. As explained in Bhagavad-Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante Gyan Mampratraite Vasudeva Sarvati Samahatma Sadurlabha. So it can take thousands of verses for a jnani to realize that Vasudeva is the Lord himself, or the highest. The point is to know Krishna, Vasudeva, as everything and surrender unto him. Karmis do not know this, but a devotee who is 100% engaged in the devotional service of the Lord knows fully what is karma and jnana. Therefore, a pure devotee is no longer interested in karma or jnana. The real bhakta is untouched by any tinge of karma and jnana. His only purpose in life is to serve the Lord. So that's the highest position. So then Rsabhadeva continues, even though one may be very learned and wise, he's mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on material life or grestha life, and which brings him in all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. When the mind is polluted by fruiting activity, the living entity wants to be elevated from one material position to another. Generally, everyone is involved in working hard day and night to improve his economic condition. Even when one understands the Vedic rituals, he becomes interested in promotion of heavenly planets, not knowing that one's real interest lies in returning back home to Godhead. And then continues to say, the attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Sometimes it is found among exalted personalities like Brahma that the wife and children are not a cause of bondage. On the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the knots of the marital relationship, and consequently, they forget the relationship with Krishna. So it's saying that there is nothing wrong with the grasta life. It's one of the ashrams recommended. So actually, it's very important, because how are we going to increase the population? How are we going to help the souls to go back home? If there's no gresta life is very important. And how are we going to support the brahmacharis and sannyasis if there's no grihasthas? So they're very important, but they have to understand the true meaning of the union of a male and female. They're supporting each other, helping each other to advance and not for sense gratification. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion of I and mine and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world. When, by associating with sadhus and engaged in devotional service, one is gradually freed from the material conception due to knowledge, practice, and detachment, the knot of attachment in the heart is slackened. Thus, one can get freed from conditioned life and become eligible to return home back to Godhead. So, this is saying that we have knots in the heart of these attachments. We have many knots of attachments in the heart, and to loosen them, they're very, very tight knots. We can't loosen them by ourselves. We need association of exalted personalities who will, by their association, will get the power and the understanding to loosen those knots. And once those knots are loosened, they will easily open. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion, I man, becomes liberated, thus one goes to the transcendental world. O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramhansa. So now Rsabhadeva is telling the point of action. A spiritually advanced spiritual master. That's what you need to do. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Person of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. So misery is there, any part of the material world. Philosophically inquire about the truth. Then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self in the body and the home, and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life air, mind, and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your described duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus, practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. So, Rsabhadeva tells his sons how they can be freed from the false identification arising from false ego and material conditioned life. One gradually becomes liberated by practicing as mentioned above. All these prescribed methods enable one to give up the material body and be situated in his original spiritual body. So here, Rsabhadeva has given advice to his 100 sons, and he has told them, or he at least will tell them to accept Bharat as their spiritual master and take advice from him, because Bharat is very, very exalted devotee. This is not the kind of advice, as I've said, that you get from your parents or your father. It would have to be the Lord himself to be advising your children to do all these things. Normally, we're totally opposite. So your parents might even introduce you to sense gratification so you get interested in earning money, right? Say, look, you get all this if you work hard, you can do all these things. So this is amazing. And so really, we have to, as gresters, we have to find a balance, a point of balance where, we are living our Swadharma, and at the same time, we're living our Sanatan Dharma. We have to have balance. As gresters, you can't be just Swadharma, material life, and can't be just Sanatan Dharma, because we have to survive. We have to look after our families. We need shelter of a home. So I think it's about balancing two dharma, Swadharma, material dharma, and Sanatan Dharma. That's what we need to do. So I hope it makes some kind of sense. Thank you for joining, everyone. Venkat Prabhu, Partha Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, Purni Mataji. Thank you for your association, because this is what I need. I need your association so I can learn something as well, and can keep out the illusion, because when we take association of Maya, the material life, or people who are associated with Maya, then we ourselves also fall into illusion very easily, very, very easily. It's just waiting for us. The Maya is just waiting to grab us. So we have to be very careful. Venkat Prabhu, please, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think?
Prabhuji, I'm out, sir. We will speak after 2 minutes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna. And Partha Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Nice to have you back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. On the very first point when you started, Prabhuji, about the spiritual master. So we just spend in net of instruction as well, like Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. So he has got control on all his senses. That is why he can make disciples all over the world. I was listening. I just want to share one pastime from Ramanujacharya's time. So there was one lady who was very, very beautiful. And there was also a wrestler who was very strong, and he used to defeat everybody. He has defeated everyone. And he got attracted to this lady, and they both got married. And he's so fond of her wife that he always keep watching her eyes only. Always he is fond of her eyes. And in front of Ramanujacharya also, once he was just looking at his wife, and Ramanujacharya thought that, okay, let me correct this person first. So he called him, and he's a nice person. So he went to Ramanujacharya, and Ramanujacharya asked, like, why you are or was watching your wife's eyes all the time? He said they are so beautiful. And Ramanujacharya said, okay, if I show you another two eyes which are very beautiful than even beautiful than your wife eyes, what you will do? He said, then I will leave my wife eyes and I'll just keep watching that eyes only. And Ramanujacharya took him and showed him the eyes of, I think, Lord Narayan, or Panduranga. And since then he started looking into the eyes of Panduranga. He left the eyes of his wife. So Acharya is like that. He will guide us in a right direction. He will never encourage us in towards the spirit, towards the sense gratification. And yeah, that's all, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Yeah, very good example. Probably you should use your initiating name now, because I'm still calling you Partha. If you had put your initiating name, then we start calling you by your initiated name.
Sure, Prabhuji, I'll change it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. That's very nice class, Prabhuji. So nice reminder what we have to do with our life. So I really enjoyed listening. And yeah, I was thinking of a shloka from Nectar of Instruction as well, where we get the instructions. Atyahara prayascha, prajalponyamagraha, janasangashcha lalyamcha, sadvir bhakti vinashyati. So we have to be careful of the things that spoil our devotional service. So the first one is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters, practicing spiritual rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement. associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness and being greedy for mundane achievements. So Rishabdev is very nicely explaining, to his sons what they need to do and what they need to avoid. And materialists, they're only seeking pleasure, but whereas devotees, they seek pleasure that is eternal. So we have to engage ourselves in devotional service and engage our senses, all the senses there, rather than engaging in sense gratification. And like you said, human life is like a junction, and we have to choose the right direction. Which direction? So Prabhupada's mercy, he has shown us the direction, so we have to keep going. And yeah, and what else was there? Yeah, I think that's yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
So
Mother.
basically, devotional service, that is eternal happiness. So everything else is temporary. So we should not go for material sense gratification and just look for eternal pleasure. And we have experienced it when we are in the Sangha, we are in the Kirtan, how blissful we are, how happy we are. We don't think of anything, we don't worry about anything. So we just have to keep going. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mother. Yeah, it is very difficult though, because that Sangha is there for a little while, but we're living in the material world all the while, right? We're there all the time, and it's so easy. It is so easy to be. This is what this is something I have argued with when we do Sunday Sangha in COVID times. We had many sannyasis come and give class, and they think they have a hard life, but I always argued that I think the Grastas have a difficult life because we are right in the middle of the battlefield, right? They seem to be that they can keep themselves out. They can wear that dress and avoid Pajalpa, and all these people won't discuss that kind of stuff with them, and they won't offer them that kind of life. But and they have abandoned, or not, I won't say abandoned, but they have given up material life to an extent, and association of people, material people, whereas we have to deal with material life all the time. So I think for Grasta it's very, very difficult, to reach high standards. It's very difficult. But hopefully Krishna understands that for us, that yes, we are in the middle. We're the infantry fighting. We're at the front, fighting this battle with Maya, and we're getting bombarded from all directions. We are the frontliners, and it's very, very difficult for us, to avoid these things. How much can we shield ourselves? We can take all the knowledge and everything and try and apply it. It's very important that we apply it, because knowledge alone will be forgotten. If it's not applied, it will be forgotten. So yeah, it is difficult, and we have to keep working at it. Endeavor is the only way. So thank you.
Yeah, that's how I feel, Prabhuji, because like as soon as we step out from the house, we change our clothes, and then it's a different mindset getting into the material life, and we have to stay grounded. We have to remember, but we see the difference between us and other people anyway. So Krishna consciousness, it does give you a different mindset, and we take things differently. And I was thinking of the point, it's just gone from my head now. Sorry. Thank you, Rabbi. Yeah, but I was thinking it's Krishna's plan to keep us as grihasthas and teach us more. So he's trying to make us more stronger. So that's how I look at it. So yeah, we have to go through all this and probably helping us to burn our sins as well. So when we are dealing with all these problems every day.
Absolutely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I mean, Prabhupada ji has mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita that we have a very small license for sense gratification. We can do some gratification. We grastas, we have that license, whereas the sannyasis and the brahmacharis don't have that facility, or even the vaneprasthas, they don't have that facility for sense gratification. Grihasthas are given some, but like like I said, it's about balancing things. We can do, and also if you want to gratify your senses, as we always discuss, gratify them through by keeping Krishna in the center. There is a way around it. Just make sure that you don't forget Krishna and not just think about your own senses. Just work through him, which we mentioned many times. So yeah, I suppose there is some facility for doing that. Main thing is not to forget Krishna, because now we're in association of Maya, so you can forget Krishna. Now always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That's the thing. But I just want to read Jay Prabhu. He has written a few points. A human being should not work too hard to collect funds merely for sense gratification. Human life is meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. By performing a studied penance, one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination. Those who are attached to sense gratification suffer the miseries of repeated birth, old age, disease, and birth. One can advance in the path of liberation by rendering service to a Mahatma. Under the instructions of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Lord and detachment from material things. That's the formula. And there's something going on in the news at the moment. The Prime Minister's, I think his father-in-law, said in India, the youth should work 70 hours a week, and that's caused a lot of commotion within the community. So, do you recommend people working 70 hours? Then, especially if we are thinking in terms of, doing devotional service as well. So, do you recommend people working in companies, in businesses for 70 hours? When will they have time to do any devotional service? So, it's all about, everybody's just thinking about capitalism now, money, productivity, just earning. That's what this now it's all about. That's where the focus lies. Nobody's talking about serving the Lord or what this human body is for. And these scriptures, we are blessed to have them. We are blessed to have our Prabhupada's. He has translated them for us in English, so we can understand that what the truth is. Because we just, otherwise we're just following what people who are successful telling us, saying, oh, this is the way, that's what you got to do in this life, that's what we do. But this is why scriptures are important, and translation is important, that so we can understand, that we can actually realize the real meaning of this life. Otherwise we would never understand it. So we're blessed to have association. Brother, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just thinking that Hare Krishna, everyone. First of all, I was just thinking that even in Vrindavan, we have seen the gopis, the gopas, everyone had Krishna around them all the time. But still, there was like a competition, wasn't it, to serve Krishna? The gopis, they were always they had Krishna around them, but they had the mood of separation. Even then, they used to just walk away at night times, just hearing the flute of Krishna. And Krishna has been so merciful that we have got Krishna's association as Gun, Roop, Leela, Naam. Prabhupada has enabled all the facilities for us. I was thinking that we don't even have to work so hard as gopis had to. We have been so blessed. And never mind these capitalists and the so-called successful people of the world, just misguiding people that forsake your health and forsake your family life and forsake your spiritual life, just go after the money. So actually, at the moment, we are in Kali Yuga. It's a hard time, but it is the most blessed time, because all the facilities are there around us to engage ourselves in the bhakti. All the facilities are there at the tip of the finger. We don't even have to, step out of the comfort of wherever we are. We can just log into any lecture, any question, anything in our head. We just have to type few words, and we have the corresponding correct knowledge there and then from the authentic sources. So I think that we shouldn't say that we are in difficult times. I think we are in the most blessed times, and we should try to make most of it. And it's lovely. We are already, I think, in day 7, isn't it, of the Kartik month. And wish you all again a very happy Kartik. I hope you're having a wonderful sadhana, and hopefully see most of you over the weekend. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll do a couple of rounds. Maybe Premi Mataji and then
Pundrik Akshara.
Pundri Kaksh Prabhu do the second one. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, I'll start. 1 minute.